Hi guys, my name's Chris Buckler and I'm honoured to be hosting Young Entrepreneurs Week with Property Tribes powered by Keller Williams. I'm part of the leadership team here at Keller Williams and I'm delighted to have Luke Gilbert, one of our top agents from up in Leeds. Luke, thanks for joining us.
It's good to be here. Thank you, Chris.
No worries. So first question, what attracted you to property?
For me, it was the opportunity that lies within property, I think, really. I was a bit of a transitional period in my life, so I had quite a successful career, been doing that for 8 years. Kind of fell out of love with what I was doing, truth be told. We did have a small business that we'd been building up for some passive income in the background. Property fit very well with that business, but a big part of it was, could I find something that had the culture that I required in terms of my own sort of values and integrity, etc. I wasn't entirely sure there was something available that did fit that way, that model, if I'm being honest. But I had a chat with someone by chance, Simon Padgett, the previous OP for the Leeds Market Centre, and it just proved to be a very successful move for us in the end. Months ago, we were starting our third year of trading. I think the first 2 years, bearing in mind that we literally started from nothing, so everything was built up from scratch. That's including training, all the systems, you know yourself, we've changed systems numerous times. So it was just putting those foundations in, really. But making sure that as we were going, we weren't afraid to maybe make mistakes or identify weaknesses within my business and the methodology we were using.
Yeah. And
just develop it as we went based on client feedback and applicant feedback. As the year went on, we started sort of taking leaps in the right direction. Client reviews coming through being very, very positive. We've started to build up quite a nice following in terms of advocates for the business, and I've just continued to sort of focus on the goals that are set through our training and almost like a guide, really, in terms of where we're actually aiming for.
So the last 3 months then, sorry to jump in, you've more than tripled your business, right? Which is incredible. What would you put that down to?
I just think it's consistency on the purpose and on the goal. I don't think there's a massive amount I'm doing differently to certainly the second year. I think it's just that perseverance. Myself and Sam Pickard recently just conducted a training at Leeds on grit.
Okay.
And I think that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. Too many people sort of lose faith in what they're doing because they're not seeing the immediate results that they're anticipating. But I think if you plan it out correctly and you're determined enough and you make that commitment to be successful and just keep doing whatever you need to do, sooner or later you do sort of get a little bit of a snowball effect. And I think that's all that it's been for the last few months, just that effort catching up with us.
Okay, so one of my observations I think I've got, certainly from listening to that, it's kind of come clear that being a young guy in property, you don't have the limiting beliefs that maybe some of the more established estate agents do. You think kind of differently and you almost squash those limiting beliefs, if you like. Is that a fair assumption?
Yeah, 100%. I come into this completely brand new to property.
Yeah.
There were no limiting beliefs. The beliefs were, let's just see how far we can push this. I had a couple of core values in terms of how I wanted to run the business, based on feedback that other people had sort of given me on the property sector and their experience with estate agents. And I just felt that if I put the client first, gave them an opportunity to work with us in a risk-free manner and just generally work in their interest, yeah, we might have the odd case where we maybe lose out for the efforts we've put in, but I think generally that would serve as well, and I've just tried to stick to that ethos and just work extremely hard for them and hope that by doing so it rewards us in the long run, and that's proving to be the case. Like you said, we've had in the last month alone more new listings come on board than the entirety of last year, so it is working.
Okay, perfect. So we've got consistency, we've got a defined goal, almost a reason why. What other tips would you give to young entrepreneurs out there?
I think it's not to be distracted by these flashing lights that sort of come across you. You'll be presented with various opportunities, but some of them can distract you and take you off on a completely different course, which is a bit of a it's a minefield, quite frankly, and I see it all the time. Someone comes into the business, whatever it may be, and initially they're all excited and flat out at it, and banging off the walls, but then 6 months, 8 months, a year down the line, they've kind of lost that enthusiasm and they've moved on to something else.
Mm-hmm.
And then never stick it out long enough to actually see the rewards for that effort. I don't think that works. I think you need to be quite passionate about what it is you decide to do firstly, but then have a very big why, a very big goal that sort of lies behind all that. Because if you've not got that solid commitment in the goals that you're trying to achieve, you will lose interest and you'll just sort of fizzle out.
Okay, so do you take your kind of reason why, your end goal, break it down into yearly, monthly, and then almost daily habits? Can you describe that as well? Because I think when you're young entrepreneurs, they often run into things, go, right, I'm going to do this and this, as you've described, but they don't consistently hit the things they need to do that might not be the most glamorous, if you like. So could you break down what a really proactive day looks like for you, or week, or is it all the same? Do you time block each day? How does that look?
I think time blocking's absolutely essential. I don't see how anybody can be successful without being very, very strict with their schedule. For me, we have a big goal. I know what drives me. It's something that I'm very passionate about. It's related to family. I won't go into what that is. But then we have business goals as well. My ambitions, I do later down the line want to open a market centre with Keller Williams. Beyond that, we want to start looking at regional ownership at some point. I don't see the point in having small goals, but they do break down into weekly tasks and daily tasks. For me, a normal day is the entire day is planned out probably 2 or 3 days in advance. Sometimes you have to be reactive, but I know what I'm doing within that time, and I will just prioritise based on those goals, and they are sort of broken down into annual, monthly, weekly, daily, hourly routines that have me out and about doing things that are going to generate more income, and then try and leverage the tasks that aren't, so the administrative tasks, etc. Give those out to someone, and you focus on earning the money.
Cool, brilliant. Luke, thanks so much for joining us. I'm sure you agree, some great tips there. Stay tuned for a next episode with more young entrepreneurs.